Hi, I'm Greg Lee, and welcome to the first episode of Third Generation in the Field. What we're going to do today, it's February 19th, we're going to get out, we're going to start doing a little preseason scouting for 2011. We're going to get out in the field, look for some runs in the snow before it all disappears, we're going to look for some shed antlers, we're going to get some game cameras in, and we're going to start monitoring what's going on. We're in Juneau County, Wisconsin, kind of our home base here for Third Generation. We're going to be on public land, and we're kind of give you an inside perspective of how to go out there in the field and get this all rolling, early, so that you can get on some, hopefully, some nice deer by the time fall comes. At this time, I introduce Randy, the other partner at Third Generation. Randy, how you doing?
Hi, Greg. We're looking forward to getting out there and showing you what we've found helps us when you go on public land. You've never hunted it before, you do a little scouting. The rewards are there if you spend just a little time, and not a lot, but you got to spend some time. Well, I'm thinking maybe I should get behind the camera and we should start this.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right. At Third Generation, one of the other things that we really like to focus on is not only the deer hunting. What we're going to do here is good family bonding, time together, and that's the whole focus of our company here. We want people to get out, spend some time with your kids, spend some time with your wife, spend some time with your family members, get out, enjoy the outdoors. It's time that will never be forgotten by anybody. So I hope you like it. Come on along with us and let's go see what we can do in the field. Thanks. Here we are. We're at the public hunting grounds in Juneau County, Wisconsin. We're lucky here living in the state of Wisconsin. We have tons of public land. A lot of this public land has great opportunities for deer hunting. Here we are, we're going to get into it. The terrain out here in Juneau County, a lot of rolling hills, a lot of hardwoods, dumps down into swamps, lots of water running through. So we're going to get out there, look for some beds, look for some runs, and let's get to it. All right, here we are out in the woods a little bit here. Last weekend, Randy was up here. He did find a spot here where it looks like a lot of the deer are yarding up, getting together, bedding down in here. They feel safe. There's a lot of sign here, a lot of deer droppings, a lot of runs, a lot of beds. So we're going to start here. This is going to be the starting basis of where we're going to start looking. As everybody knows, patterns do change throughout the year, but this is a good starting point. We know they're here now. We can start seeing what deer are in the woods, what made it through the season, and go from there. We're going to get out to the first spot. We're going to put the game camera and go from there. All right. We're lucky here in Juneau County. We got a good mix of crops and things like that. But late in the season like this, late in the winter, in these pines, it's a good source of food. There's a lot of cedar trees in here, a lot of pine. If you look around the ground here, there's all kinds of stuff that the deer have been knocking down and eating. You can see that they're milling around and nibbling on stuff in here. So not only do we have the cornfields, but we also have a lot of vegetation in the woods that they eat on and survive on throughout the year. Alright, here's a good example of things to be looking for out in the woods. It's basic stuff to every deer hunter, but we feel that we should say it anyhow. Here we got a decent sized buck rub. What this tells us, there's deer droppings all over in the snow, there's beds. It tells us that these deer use this year round. They did this in the fall when they were rubbing late summer, early fall, rubbing on the branches to get the velvet off, or during the rut to mark their location. So not only is this an area that the deer are using just to bed and yard up in the winter, this also is an area that they frequent during the season. So that's one good thing to keep in your head when you're trying to choose your stand location. All right, we're still in the pines here. We're coming across all kinds of good sign. We're sitting on about 10 different beds. The good thing about this here is it tells you that these deer really like to, and in general deer like to be hanging out in the pines, the greens. If you want a picture from the way you see it, it's kind of like sitting in your living room in front of your fireplace for the deer. The wind is blocked down here. They feel safe. They can hear better. There's a food source. This is a good spot to check in a big forest where there's going to be a lot of bedding activity and where they're going to be hanging out. If you can see behind me, the run that comes down this hill kind of works into a draw like a funnel here. What we're going to do is figure out where about we're going to put the tree stand and then we're going to put a game camera to start a starting port. Not saying that this is where we're going to end up putting it, but we're going to try to set it up so that we know how to adjust it and fine tune it by the time the season comes. Also, while we're back here, in April we'll be doing a little turkey hunting, bow hunting. In the past, we've seen a lot of turkeys here. These big pine trees, they use a lot of roosting. So this is one of the spots that we will also be turkey hunting. So we're kind of looking around for sign for that too. So watch for that in an upcoming episode. And just to let you know here, at the bottom of this ridge, through this funnel, there's water, and then it goes into a cornfield. So it's a main food source out there during the fall. So that's why these deer use this year-round. They get from their bedding area through to here, the water and the corn, everything a deer needs, and there's a lot of cover. So everything that they need to feel safe and keep their bellies full. Alright, here we are. We're at our first site where we're going to put our game camera. Like we stated before, we're on top of that draw. Down to the bottom is corn. You can see the run that goes through right here. Pretty beat. This is one that they use year-round. The trick that we're going to do here is we're going to put the game camera on this tree. One of the best tricks is, you know, a lot of these game cameras, you can spend a lot of money, you can get high-tech on them. But if you point the game camera down the run, it doesn't matter if you have a short delay, a long delay, you're going to get more pictures. You don't want to put your game camera out so that it's pointing just across the runway and you have to take that picture just in that split instant that the deer walks across, and sometimes you just get a head shot, sometimes you just get a rear shot. If you put it facing down the run, you're going to get more pictures of the animal walking down it. Just a tip, you don't have to spend a ton of money on game cameras. Just for scouting purposes, you can do, they tell you a lot of good information, but if you want to do it on the cheap and just go, for basic pictures to find out what the deer are doing, these are some tips that you can do with a not so expensive camera. Another tip here when putting your game camera in is you want to make sure that everything in front of the camera is clear. You get good windy days, rain, things like that. You don't want to be snapping pictures of any kind of movement like that, having pictures worth nothing. So what we try to do, try to put the camera just a little bit above waist height. That way you can get a longer range of shot. The camera really picks up the movement instead of putting it too low, too high. We put it about waist height. It'll pick up the pictures as the deer's coming down, and then clear everything out in front of it so that you don't have anything interfering with your pictures. All right, here we are. We got some things here we wanted to show you real quick. Here at Third Generation, we're not all about focusing on antler size and everything, but for any deer hunter, it gets you going, gets your blood going. And look at the size of the track we got here. That track is a big animal. If you can see my hand, that gets you going. That's the stuff that really gets you wanting to come out and check those game cameras and see if you can get a picture of that beauty. Maybe we won't harvest them, but that's what deer hunting's all about, getting that blood flowing and having these memories. If this doesn't get your blood going as a deer hunter, I don't know what would. This is a cedar tree down on the edge of this bottom. Take a look at the size of this rub. This ain't no spike buck making this one. This one's got some serious artillery on top of his head to tear this tree up. Just so you can see a little bit of where we're at here, we're right on top of the river bottom. The river is probably about 75 yards in here, 100 yards at the most. And it's all thicket, tag alders. Comes up into a cedar grove that we're standing on. It's a mixture of cedar that this rub is on the cedar, and then white pine goes up into the top into the oak woods. Perfect spot for big bucks to hang out. Everything they need, nice and quiet. And this isn't the only one. We got about 4 or 5 of these rubs right down this run that we've come across. This is the biggest one that we've come across, but That's some serious damage to a tree. All right, what we're gonna do here, we've found those rubs that we showed you. We found about 6 more of them right in this concentrated area. Right here we got a steep rock cliff. You can see it goes straight up to the top high. Down below is water, and it looks like this is maybe a main escape area for a buck here, and they hang a lot out down here obviously for quite some time. So what we're gonna do, we already put up 2 cameras. We're gonna put a 3rd one here, and we're gonna see what kind of movement and what kind of animals move through this area. And this might be one of our main stand locations when we start filming. So I'm gonna take some time, get this camera in, talk to you in a bit. All right, here's what we were talking about, the river bottom here. Good source of water for the deer. Main run coming right to it. You can see where they kind of get in and get a drink down here. And just wanted to show you all the key things that you're looking for in your preseason scouting. Water, food, bed, travel patterns, things like that. So we just wanted to give you a shot of the river, and plus it's good background sound. It's a beautiful sound. We'll take it. All right, here we are. We're putting in our 4th and last camera. The territory that we're hunting here is about 3,000 acres of public hunting grounds here. This area that we're putting the camera right now has a lot of special meaning to me. When we first found this property 3 years ago, this will be the 4th season. It's one of the first spots that we started hunting, and we got onto some deer right away. And then in the last 2 years, the last year and the year before, it's produced my biggest deer that I've ever got with my bow. We've seen a lot of action down here. Fun spot to be. My son got to go on his first track job last year and trail a deer. And you'll actually see some pictures of that on the website that we have. Just a lot of meaning to what happened down here in the last couple of years, and hopefully there's a lot of memories to come. We're gonna get the camera in here. We're gonna start hiking our way out. We got quite a walk to get back out. We'll give you some shots of some things on the way out, and hey, we're gonna call her a day. We'll talk to you in a bit.
Well, we decided that maybe I should tell the story of my spot here. This is where Greg and I, the first year we came here, we both set up. He showed you where he was. My stand was actually about 175 yards from here. Seen a couple of deer, was pretty happy with it, but never got a shot. This year, with all the walking around and scouting we did, I walked back by my old spot and with Greg, and we happened to stumble on where the deer are coming from across the water and everything. And like I said, it's about 75 to 100 yards from my spot. We couldn't believe how they come up this steep hill, straight up and straight down it, when there are easier areas for them to go. So we decided this year we're going to put a camera here. We're going to do a little possible hunting here if we get good sign. So that's how we're going to attack it this year, and we'll keep you informed whether this spot turns out or not.
Well, we're going to about wrap it up here for the day. We've had a good day, traveled from one end of the hunting grounds to the other. We got our 4 game cameras in. Think we got a lot of good start, good day for our first day out, first day on camera. Hope you tune in and check us out more at thirdgenerationoutdoor.com. And you know, there's only a lot better things to come here, and get out, spend some time in the woods, and enjoy time with your family. Thanks for joining us.